Hello and welcome to today's episode of Focus Atlanta. I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thanks so much for tuning in with us this Sunday afternoon. In our first segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the economy. Yes, everybody is interested in boosting the economy however they can. Well, getting employed at some of these small businesses is just the way to do it. And I'm here with Mr. Whit Blakeley. Whit, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Keisha.
Now, I don't know that people actually recognize that sometimes getting hired at a small business is different than getting hired at a large corporation. Let's talk a little bit about the differences.
Well, it is, given that probably 90% of all employment is done by small businesses, businesses with fewer than 100 employees. That's the vast majority of the hiring market in the United States.
Wow. So you have to prepare differently for an interview for one of these small businesses than you would for, a Fortune 500 company or something?
You do. In this economy particularly, because it is so competitive. I had heard a statistic, and I think it was another media personality in Atlanta, consumer advisor, that said that in this market there are 6 people ideally qualified for every one position, whereas 4 years ago there was a labor shortage in Atlanta.
That's crazy. So as you prepare yourself, or as you're trying to prepare to be in that competitive market, what should we be thinking about when we're really thinking, I want to work for a small business, a smaller company?
The thing to focus on are what are their needs. OI Partners recently completed a very broad study of small businesses representing a broad spectrum of industries. And the key features that came out is, particularly with small businesses, they're looking for people who have experience with their types of businesses. There's also an added emphasis on hiring people who are very team-oriented, who can work in a small, flexible environment, and are also very customer-focused. That's very key in a small business because you're so directly involved with the customer, more so than in a large company.
Okay, so if you're fortunate enough to get an interview with one of these smaller companies, let's do some do's and don'ts, because there's some things that people try to avoid doing in interviews when they're interviewing for larger companies, like being too personable or telling, or giving too much personal information. Is there any difference when you're interviewing with a smaller company?
The key things to emphasize with a small company are things such as emphasizing your relevant experience and accomplishments that you've had that relate to their business, the problems, the challenges that they're facing. That is so key. Also demonstrating your ability to get along well with other people and being very directly customer focused. Okay.
So are the small businesses kind of targeting in a different way now with the state of the economy, like because they know that people who are coming from larger businesses are trying to focus into the smaller businesses? So can we talk a little bit about that aspect?
Because that's where most of the hiring is being done. People have got to understand what the small businesses are looking for. And it is very important that the individuals understand what the needs are of the small business, how to speak to those needs. That's often the mistake that people who come from larger company environments make, because there you've got resources and budgets and processes and structure that are so different in small companies. And people have got to emphasize that ability to relate well to that small business. That's so key.
Oh, that's smart. So in terms of our research, because we should all be doing research if we're out in the job market, you're going to research those companies where you're looking to be employed. Is there a different way to find out specifically a little bit more about the smaller businesses, or to do your research differently so that you can learn what's truly important to them?
Great question. Good point. Because small businesses often fly under the radar of the typical job sites that you would find. Small businesses oftentimes can't afford to commit the dollars to the job boards and those resources. So oftentimes the hiring is done predominantly through LinkedIn and other social media sites. Twitter is coming on extremely quickly as a hiring tool. Tweetmyjobs.com is becoming a very great resource, because employers can use those resources, invest little or no capital in finding people, plus they can research the people. People at the same time can research the companies through those sites, and sites such as Google and others.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic information. Thank you so much for coming on the show and
You're
sharing
welcome.
all this information.
Thank
Is
you.
there a way that they can learn more about your business in general? Do you have a website?
Yes, oipartners.net is our global website. Our specific website is cmresources.net, and we have this survey that's been done on our website and on the OI Partners website also.
Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, all the information that you need to know if you are in the job market, because things are a little bit different these days with the state of the economy. You want to be on top of it. So please take the opportunity to visit the website and learn a little more, and stay tuned for more Focus Atlanta.